Okay. I don't really know where to start. I'm not used to making videos like this, but if you're new here, welcome. Before I say anything, I'm a very small channel, which means if you want to reach out to me and ask your own questions, go ahead. You can type it in the comments, message me privately on my socials, whatever you want. I wanted to talk about my weight loss journey because genuinely when you see people do it, you just kind of think like, how is that possible? I could never do that. I was in your shoes, and now that I've done it, I've realized how very possible it is. And I want to give you guys listen, there's no like easy way to do it, but I want to just give you guys straight up like what I did and what worked, and like this really should work for everybody. Just if you want, I'm gonna leave the chapters in the the playback thing if you just want to like skip ahead. But pretty much, I started off, I was 225 pounds, which is not a lot for someone my height, but for someone with not that much muscle at the time, I was fat, and I went through a breakup, and I ate McDonald's and drank soda for 2 weeks straight, and on top of my already unhealthy lifestyle, that just kind of accelerated things, and I ended up looking like the way I did on the screen. I wanted to change that. And I think the first important part about all of this is how bad do you want it? The hard part isn't really getting it done, because you're not like cutting off a party or something crazy. Like it's a slow, gradual process that takes place every day. Alright, sorry about that. That was the moment the radiator in my basement decided to start making loud noises. It's not something that happens overnight, and that might sound frustrating, but if anything, it's easier to stay motivated when it's not insane changes that are happening out of nowhere. So yeah, I'm going to talk about what I did. First and foremost, it's not only about, the amount you're eating. Before I talk about even how much you should be eating, it's what you're eating. Most of you, if you just cut out fast food and soda and like super sugary snacks, like that should be enough to see either a change or to not see you get any worse. That stuff alone is kind of what really drove me to like that lowest part of my life. So step one, let's cut that shit out. Okay. On top of that, I'm going to leave a website link in the description. Pretty much you enter in how tall you are, your weight. There's some more advanced ones where you put in your neck size and stuff, but the one I have linked below is pretty simple. Gives you a general idea about what your maintenance calories are. And before I start sounding like all scientifical, like it might sound scary, but it's really not, I promise. So yeah, that website's going to tell you your maintenance, which pretty much is if you eat that much, your weight won't change. Now, obviously dropping below that will cause you to lose weight, but we're more so considered with losing fat and not losing your muscle. If you diet too hard, or what we call a crash diet for too long, you will lose muscle. Now, if you're someone who hasn't even started working out in the gym yet and wants to crash diet and just like lose the fat fast, I wouldn't recommend it, even though that is kind of what I did in the beginning. It can lead to like an eating disorder, and like that's really not what we're trying to get at here. I would recommend not going below 1,000 calories of your maintenance. So if your maintenance is 28, I wouldn't eat less than 1,800. Now, in those calories that you eat, you want to make sure that you're eating the protein equal to your body weight. So let's say you're starting off at 230 pounds. You want to eat 230 grams of protein a day. And obviously as time goes on, you could lower it a little bit, but you want to make sure you're hitting that at least. And that will pretty much make sure that when you're losing that fat, you're not losing your muscle as well. That's the basis. Eating less calories than your maintenance and making sure that the calories are protein dense. Aside from that, there's things that you could speed up this process. So you could do cardio. And cardio doesn't have to be biking for 2 hours. It could be a 10-minute sprint. It could be 30 minutes just like sitting on one of those like seated bikes and like doing some homework or something, or whatever you gotta get done, doing some work. Whatever you can do is helpful. The whole point is that you don't want to end up hurting your motivation by doing something you can't handle mentally. And forcing yourself to run every day for 2 hours and eating, like how are you going to keep up with that? Take it one step at a time. Slowly add in all these things I'm talking about. Don't set yourself up for failure. The hardest part's the motivation, right? And about the motivation thing too, how bad do you want it, right? Like, it's possible. Once you see the change, once you see the progress, your need for motivation will be less and less, because you'll have proof, and it motivates you. And most people get into the gym and they don't like it at first, but they get addicted to seeing progress, And the same thing goes for weight loss. So if you just stick to it to where you start to see progress, it will get easier, I promise. Now, along with the calorie thing and the cardio, it's important to know that if you're in this calorie deficit, is what it's called, when you're sub your normal maintenance for a long enough time, your body might slow down your metabolism. And this is like a survival instinct pretty much, because your body thinks that you're starving and you're in the wild and you're not going to get food anytime soon. So it lowers your metabolism, which is what we need to burn the fat. So what you really should do is, after the first few weeks, usually in the first few weeks of your diet, you lose a lot of weight really fast. It's usually water weight, a lot of the sugar that's just floating around your system. And after those, after those first few weeks, every 6 or 7 days, you might want to consider taking what we call maintenance days. Pretty much you're going to want to eat what you would normally eat to fulfill your maintenance calories. Not go back to your soda and sugar or whatever, but like, you know, make sure you get to that calorie range. Still keep the protein amount you need, but, you know, eat more than you have been on the diet. That will prevent your metabolism from slowing down, and that will keep you on a steady course. Also, these sort of like cheat days will keep you motivated. You know, you won't be starving for 8 weeks at a time. You'll be, you know, hungry for a little bit, and then you get a few days off, and hungry for a little bit. And, you know, it's definitely helpful for motivation. For me right now, I'm on a diet. I'm not even fat right now. I'm just trying to get lean. I'm trying to eat no less than like, okay, my maintenance is 3,500. I'm trying to eat no less than 2,500. And every 6 or 7 days, I will have a slice or two of pizza on top of what my diet has been. That way I get those little bit extra calories, you know, I get that motivation. And then on top of that, it's good fuel for the gym. Those carbs are good for you. So that's another thing I want to talk about. On top of the cardio, you do want to be going to the gym. You don't have to be like powerlifting or something crazy, but you know, anything's better than nothing. But you know, that calculator that I recommend in the description will ask you how often you work out. And the more you do, the better, you know. Going to the gym I go for an hour and a half at a time, and I'll do my 30 minutes of cardio. Not at the same time, I'll do my cardio later in the day, but you know, that all helps to, you know, speeding up this process. Another thing you should know is the more muscle you have on you, the more testosterone you produce. And if you're a woman watching this, it's okay, it's normal. The more muscle you have, the more tests you're gonna have, which burns fat. You actually want that to happen. So by building your muscle at the same time as losing the fat, not only are you transferring fat from muscle, but you're also increasing your metabolism. And then there's some things that like I do that I really don't think are essential, but hey, if you're one of those people that are really super driven and want to do everything possible, here are some things that I have that are proven to help your metabolism. Taking ice baths every once in a while speeds up your metabolism. Ice baths are miserable, and if you don't have the goal to do it, don't, because you'll just demotivate yourself. It really is not worth it. For me, I actually find it comforting, so I'll do that every few days. Certain foods and drinks increase your metabolism, like chamomile tea. I'll drink that every few days, and different things like that I try and focus on. Something that's also important to understand is, when is it important? Like, when do you want to really focus on eating? For me, I don't really pay attention to this. All I know is this, is that I personally don't really like breakfast. I'm like sick in the morning, so it's easy for me not to eat breakfast. But there's 3 most important times of the day to get your protein in. It's in the morning for breakfast, right after the gym, and at nighttime. Nighttime so that while you're sleeping, your protein's building your muscles. In the morning so that you have protein for the day, and then after the gym for that anabolic window where you build a lot of muscle with the protein you intake right after a workout. So even if you're not hungry in the morning, I would recommend having a shake. And that's another thing too, is shakes are like a cheat code of dieting. High in protein, get it low in calories, it fills you up, and will just hold you over for a long time. With all that being said, that's the actual mechanics of how to lose weight. I can give you some tips too. Don't look at the scale. The scale will change very fast in the beginning. You'll be all excited, but then you keep checking it and you realize it will slow down. The scale is not accurate. The scale goes up and down based off how much water you have. The scale is at different times of the day, different numbers. You know, if you're building muscle and losing fat at the same time, you know, it's not proportional. You're not just going to drop weight. You know, some days you're going to stay the same. You can stay the same for a few days at a time. The goal here isn't to actually change the number. The goal here is to lose fat, right? Don't look at the scale so much. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't even look in the mirror so much. Honestly, just like every few days check in, see what's going on, and listen to your body. If you notice that you're losing your appetite, you have lost appetite, maybe you need one of those cheat days I talked about, you know, to get your appetite re-going again. 2 cheat days in a row is not bad. That's fine. As long as you're not breaking your maintenance calories, theoretically you're losing fat no matter what. You also should be conscientious of what you are actually eating, because obviously you want protein-dense stuff below the calories, but you also do need carbs to function. you need carbs for energy and all that stuff. With that being said, that's all I really have to say. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I will answer, I promise you. Just type in the comments. You can message me on my socials. They're all linked down below. And I guess I never actually properly introduced myself. My name is Max. I'm 20. Right now I am 6'3", 190. I've been cutting for the summer. But also, if there's any other questions you have or videos you want to see, I can make those. Just comment down below. But thank you all for watching. All right, take care, guys. You got it. Good luck.